Okay, people, I have one final topic to talk about before I wrap up the show. I want to talk about Miami and Boston. So the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics face off today at the time of this recording. At the time of this recording, it is Tuesday. The game is going to be getting underway within the next hour or so at the time of this recording. So this is probably going to get out to you guys late, potentially, okay? I don't know when it's going to get out to you guys. You know, I have to edit the show. I have to put this out. I have to, see if the show looks good, if it sounds good, all that good stuff. But I will say, I'm still going to preview this matchup for you guys between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. So Boston, they're heading into the series versus Miami after sweeping Philadelphia and beating the Toronto Raptors in 7 games. The Miami Heat, they swept the Indiana Pacers, and they just beat the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games. Who's going to win? This is tough for me because I do think that Boston matches up pretty well with Miami. And Boston, they've got a better record than Miami on the season. Actually, if you look at things, Boston does have the leg up on Miami in the standings. Not that that really matters anymore, just because there's no home court advantage anymore due to the NBA bubble. But I'm going to pick the Miami Heat to win this matchup in 6 games for a couple of reasons. When I look at Miami, I get a team with the better head coach, with the best player in the series named Jimmy Butler. Miami has more size than Boston, and they have more depth than Boston. Boston's starting 5 is very good. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, they're great. But Boston's bench is not very good. And ultimately, I believe that Boston's lack of size and lack of depth is going to hurt them in this series. Gordon Hayward is not going to be active for game number 1 as of right now. Gordon Hayward, the last time I checked, it said Gordon Hayward was not going to play in game number 1. So I don't know if Gordon Hayward is going to return for this series. But if Gordon Hayward does play at some point, he could make a difference. However, coming off an injury, I don't know how good Gordon Hayward is going to be. But I look at Miami. I just think that Miami is more built to win this matchup more so than Boston. Miami, you look at Tyler Herro, he's a good shooter. Kendrick Nunn, Andre Iguodala, Kelly Olynyk. That's their bench players. Not to mention you got Bam Adebayo in that starting lineup. He's a great player. Not a great player, but a good player that played very well this past year. Jimmy Butler's been playing very well in the playoffs. Goran Dragic, Robinson, he's been playing well. He's been playing great as well. Miami is more versatile defensively. They've got more size. Miami has the better coach. Jimmy Butler's the best player in this series. They've got more depth. And I got to pick Miami to win this series. After what I saw Miami do to Milwaukee, who had the best record in the NBA, I cannot ignore that. I know that Boston just beat Toronto in a 7-game series. Some people argue that Toronto is better than Milwaukee. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about that too much, just because you could definitely make that argument that Toronto was a better team than a better team than Milwaukee. But I'm going to go with the team that's more well-rested as Miami. They wrapped up their series, several days ago, whereas Boston has less rest coming into the series, even though I don't think that's going to affect Boston too much just because they're a young team with fresh legs. I believe that Miami is the better team, and I believe that Miami will prevail over Boston in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I believe Miami punches their ticket to the 2020 NBA Finals to face either the Nuggets, the Clippers, or the Lakers. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.